जरा मुझे वो ला देना बुक, मोटी बुक।
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
वालेकुम सलाम।
Or we are starting in 2 minutes, huh?
चलो आइए ना।
मैं डॉक्टर हसन भोपाल से।
माशाअल्लाह।
हम रफीउद्दीन नासिर औरंगाबाद से।
माशाअल्लाह।
पहचाने जान? जी जी। Meeting after a long time, huh?
Yes, yes. It's been a very good day.
How are you?
I'm
कैसे हैं?
बिल्कुल। Yes.
रखे आपको खैरियत से रखे। माशाअल्लाह। हमारे साथ ईरान में थे। कैसे हैं आप? अच्छे हैं?
बिल्कुल ठीक सर। आप कैसे हैं सर?
अच्छे हैं, अल्लाह का शुक्र है। आएंगे ना, अभी तो शुरू किया है ना।
अबू तालिबी अपने को ग्रीन सिग्नल दे दो तो हम लोग शुरू कर दें फिर। फेसबुक पे ऑनलाइन नहीं आ रहे हैं अबू तालिबी? उसको फोन लगा के बोल वहां से कि ऑनलाइन पे नहीं आ रहा है।
मीटिंग वाले जो साहब थे ना, वो हमारे साथ बहुत सोशल, बहुत खाकसार तबीयत के मालिक। इस बहाने मुलाकात हो जा रहा है यार। जी हो तो पता नहीं।
हाँ 15 people दिखा रहे हैं।
15 पीपल ज्वाइन किए हैं माशाल्लाह।
लगाना होगा, कोई परेशानी होगी।
वायु निकल
अच्छा जाओ बुक मार दो तुम्हारे पेट में। आपको भेजा ना मुझे?
भेजा ना मैंने
व्हाट्सएप पे ना?
हाँ व्हाट्सएप पे। धन्यवाद मित्रा, धन्यवाद धन्यवाद।
Assalamu alaikum. Are we about to start? Hello.
Hello.
Shakir bhai.
Check voice, huh? Check voice.
Check voice.
Ini bersana.
Yeah.
Ada.
Yeah, inshallah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Assalamu alaikum to all of our viewers who have joined in,
Walaikum
and many
assalam.
others will be joining.
Waalaikumsalam.
Abu Talibi, I request you to put others.
Waalaikumsalam wa rahmatullah.
Please put others on mute, Abu Talibi, so that once one person is talking, the other persons, they can hear properly. Otherwise, in between, people will be coming and going, and there will be a lot of confusion. Acha. Now, to begin with, let us introduce and first of all begin with thanks to Allah Almighty, Subhanallah Ta'ala, for giving us this chance to sit down and talk about Hajj in the pandemic of COVID-19. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, Hajj is, as we all know, mashallah, is a fariza, which is compulsory on all the Muslims who should, when they earn enough and have performed the daily duties, they have prayed, they have given zakat, they have given their daily dues to the public, to their own, and to the masses, as well as to the people, they have a final meeting with Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls them to his own house, the Baitul Atiq. Why? He calls them to become better humans in the sense when he wants us to change in the footsteps of the person whom he has liked, that is Hazrat Ibrahim, starting from Hazrat Ibrahim, who was Hanif and who is a symbol for all the mankind to follow. And from them onwards starts the journey. Well, Hajj to me was also a journey through the history, through the archaeology of the human beings, where they traveled through the age when the first house was made by Hazrat Adam, and then it developed, and finally it was rebuilt by Hazrat Ibrahim, where he left Janabe Hajra. And again, when we follow the Hajj, we come into the footsteps of the great people, and then we come into the history of Islam, where how from a small city the religion spread and then moved to Medina and then came back. This entire journey takes us through a complete change and reform of our lives. The minimum 23 days or let's say 40 days that we do in the Hajj take us through a complete journey of reforming and making us into better human beings. In this journey of changing our lives, our system entirely and improving it for a better one, we come across many changes. And to enlighten us with these changes, to see the social, economical, and the religious, spiritual impact of the various aspects, we are here to discuss about the Hajj. Now, I would invite Abu Talibi to start with the Tilawat-e-Quran and a small video on the Hajj. And please, Abu Talibi, mute everyone.
Oh, goodness.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Abu Talibi, mute everybody else so that we can relay this.
Thank you.
काय करते नाही येत का
مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Assalamu alaikum. Well, after this, let me invite the director of the Islamic Culture House of the Islamic Republic of Iran, Janab Dr. Mohsen Ashuri. Mohsen Ashuri needs no introduction. He is one of our most beloved directors of the Republic House, and he is the Culture House of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and he's one person who always is inviting people and wants interaction with various types of scholars and people of awareness to get together and think and develop further. Dr. Ashuri, I would invite you to please come over and give a welcome note to all our speakers. Thank you so much, sir. Please come, Dr. Ashuri.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Good evening, everybody. And most distinguished participation, and especially for the lecturer. We have 3 lectures, the best one. So I respect the lecturer, Mr. Maksud Khan, CEO, Hajj Committee of India, and respect the lecturer of Abdul Samad Sheikh, Educational Counselor, and Hujjatul Islam Maulana Qasimi, Director of Tawheed Islamic Center, Newcastle, London. So I appreciate to all of you. This is the best webinar we have, and also welcome all of the participate. Most welcome. it shows us we are, as a one hand, we are going to negotiate about Hajj during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, as you know, this year's Hajj is a special Hajj, I believe that. So, a special Hajj, and so many Muslim people, they would like to participate in this ceremony, this Hajj also, but unfortunately because of the COVID-19 pandemic, they couldn't participate and they failed to participate in the Hajj. But we believe that the Hajj, in the Hajj, it is obvious that the health of Muslim people is most important and priority and important for all of us. We should respect to all of them. And as the other things in this webinar, we are going to negotiate about the health is important, and also if the Hajj for the Muslim people, most of the people failed, but the unity among the Muslim peoples, we are going to show this unity between the Muslim people around the world. As you see, we mentioned about this international from Iran, India, London, England, and also France, also the other countries, they are participating in this ceremony, in this webinar also.
Please, all of you,
So we will request Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to heal all corona patients and inshallah remove this pandemic from the all countries, from the all humanities. During this time, as you know, today is Arafah time, we should pray to Allah and request Him to remove this pandemic from all mankind also. It's very important. So, according to this idea, we negotiate about this special Hajj. And inshallah, we will use from the old experience and knowledge of the lecture today, inshallah, with all participants. Thank you very much for accepting our participant and our invitation. So, inshallah, we will be in touch. We will negotiate in so many fields. Thank you very much for all of you and most welcome. Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much, Dr. Ashuri, for your warm welcome. Now, before inviting my first speaker, now since we have started with the speech, I would request Abu Talibi Bhai, please make the mute. Zakir Bhai, make the mute for everybody and you all also, because the voice is coming and the speakers should not get disturbed, because now we have a very eminent speaker, and more than all, he's a professor. He has been very famous. He has developed institutes into very, very high levels, like whether it is the Signum Institute when he was a director, or whether when we know M.A. Khan Sahab, we know that he is a person who is very, very renowned with this, especially with the academicians in the Bombay University, whenever they talk as a registrar, as a person, and as a developer. He is now currently the CEO of the Hajj Committee. And before inviting me, let us say that he is already a household name with the scholars of Bombay, who are very well aware कि भाई registrar साहब के पास जाना है. तो even now it has been 2 or 3 years since he is not there, but still some people feel he is a registrar. So he was having so much of popularity, and we as students of Bombay University felt so homely when he was over there. And now the Hajj Committee is very lucky, in fact, the other way around, that he is not lucky to be there. They are lucky to have him as a CEO and improve. But unfortunately, this year, the God forbid calamity or the pandemic of COVID-19 didn't permit us much. But now I would invite Dr. Masood Khan to please put his views, because from him what we get is the first-hand information of exactly what happened, what all they faced, because the Hajj Committee will face the actual emotional flow of when a Muslim is not allowed to go for Hajj, whatever reason. Some people are ready to die also if they want to go for Hajj, because that is the entire life saving, that's the entire life's chance. We know that the pandemic is stopping. They have done a very good job over there. But Dr. Sir, please come and enlighten us as to how we have managed and we can manage it all over. Thank you so much. Welcome, Dr. Sir.
Thank you, General Raza Saab, for the kind words. Assalamu alaikum for all of you. And first of all, I thank for the opportunity given me to speak and put in my views to all of you. But this year, preparation of the Hajj till last end from us till we start the flights, and then suddenly we were waiting, and then unable to send the Haji. It was very embarrassing and very disappointing to Hajis and all of us that we were not able to send the Indian Hajis to the Hajj. We were in touch with the Saudi authorities right from beginning. The issue started from the February, later February, where the one flight where the uh, Hajis were going for Umrah and they were in Ihram, and then from the airport itself they were not allowed to go further, and then after boarding the flight they were deboarded and they were sent back to the home, and then thereafter the no Haji has been able to go to the land of the Saudi. We were in touch with the Saudi authorities and the through I myself through the World Hajj Umrah organizations of the London, that we were doing the surveys and we were helping and informing the concerned authorities so that how the Hajj can be conducted in the this Corona epidemic, and then how the limited persons Hajj and the Hajj with the Hajj by selection instead of by Hajj by quota can be arranged at the Saudi Arabia. So the authorities were very keen to uh, listen and then understand our feedbacks and our communication, and then they were trying from full quota of 2 lakhs to reduce quota, and then 50% quota to 25% quota, and then at last nothing was able to get it because the situation of the pandemic doesn't recovered, and then the conditions of the Saudi itself was not that good that they could conduct any Hajj. But still, hats off to them, hats off to the administrations at the Saudi that they have still managed to have 10,000 pilgrims, out of which 30% are of the Saudi nationals and 70% of the different nationals who are residing already in Saudi. And with this 10,000 Hajis selected by online and then by the electronic draw system, purely selected by Allah persons, and then allowing these persons to come for Hajj along with the 1,000 officers, again selecting by the draw system. Even the Consul General of India at Jeddah were not included in the Hajj for this particular season. And I am afraid even the Ambassador of India is also not part of the delegation. And all the persons who were selected randomly by purely will of Allah are performing the Hajj. And I have seen the rituals which were Hajis were performing there. Alhamdulillah, mashallah, the all Hajis are looking like a perfect trained athletes in the perfect discipline. They performing the Tawaf Qudum when they joined the Makkah, and all the social distances, and they maintaining all the protocols of the Hajj. The main concern and main the issue with the Saudi authorities was the how to prevent the life of the human being. They were not ready to take the all responsibilities on themselves and putting all the Hajj in the regular volume so that it could not hurt the humanity, because saving the life was an important issue for them. And Alhamdulillah, what they have planned, it looks that the
हाँ मैंने डाला था फोटो
it is looking like that the person
मेरा नाम आ रहा है अरे
the
गया
persons performing Hajj are very lucky, and Alhamdulillah, they are performing in very disciplined and very trained manner. That's why I think this was the reason that they have selected the less number of persons. I'll conclude in 2 minutes. The feelings and uh, uh, the emotions of the Indian Hajis were very bad, and they were, most of them have sold the properties and deposited the amount. Somebody has sold the land, somebody has sold the some flats, plots, all their hard-earned money. But it's Allah's will that they were not invited this year, and they have to wait till next year. May Allah make it possible next year for the all Indians to perform the Hajj, and may Allah accept all prayers of the all Haji selected by uh, purely Allah, who are performing the Arfat, the Hajj there today, and accept all their du'as and make all of us be able to perform the Hajj as early as possible. Thank you. Jazakallah.
Thank you, Dr. Sab, for your kind words. Hello. Assalamu alaikum. Dr. Sab, thank you so much for your kind words. And now we have a small video clip from Abu Talibi's end. Abu Talibi, please play the video clip.
नहीं हुआ कनेक्ट? हेलो, कनेक्ट नहीं हुआ क्या? हेलो,
Please mute yourself.
नहीं हुआ?
Please mute yourself.
ये वो रजिस्टर करिए।
हाँ, जाकर करिए। कोई आईडी नहीं है स्पेशल। इनका हज का लिखा है।
वीडियो लगा ना। हेलो, हेलो, हेलो।
Hello. Yeah, welcome back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for the beautiful video. Please mute all of yourself. Others, please mute yourself. And thank you for the lovely video, Abu Talibi. Now I'm inviting somebody who is known as a research Ratna. In fact, he has got a record of many researches, discoveries, and he again in his field, that is the computer science and the field of research and work in computer works, and as a public speaker, as services, Green Infotech needs no introduction. I invite Dr. Samad Sheikh, Abdus Samad Sheikh, to please kindly put a few words and talk to us about the new technologies, the new achievements, and the new ways in which we can perform the Hajj, maybe through virtual, those beautiful lenses and the cameras where a person can virtually visit and understand maybe how this technology will help us further, and his advices and his research would help us into attaining an atmosphere and work where we would be able to understand the Hajj and work with the others in a better environment rather than not transmitting the disease, as we know that it has become a new normal now, how to avoid the disease, and we have to take care of our own selves, which can happen only through the beautiful technology that is there. So welcome to the new world order, and the new world order will be led by people like Dr. Samad Sheikh, who is a pioneer in his field. Dr. Sheikh, I hope that these words are not enough. I know that, rather, that for your introduction, but still I hope this is a brief introduction of yourself, because when I read your site and I see it's pages and pages of your achievements, and thank you so much for being and doing so much for the community. So I invite Dr. Abdul Samad Sheikh to kindly speak and enlighten us about his thoughts on the aspects of modernization of the various rituals of Hajj and how we can take care of them through the technology. Dr. Sheikh, please.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, thank you, Zainul Raza Saab, and especially thanks for Iran Cultural House Mumbai for inviting me and having me here. This is something very grateful for me to share my understanding with this technology and in this time of calamities and time of this pandemic. As you know that this time this Hajj has been scaled down, and it has been scaled down drastically to around 1,000 people only, and only those people who are actually residing in the kingdom itself, and the other people from outside has not been allowed to perform the Hajj. This is just because of the COVID-19, and suddenly this disease has really taken aback the whole community, and it's taken the whole world, and it's very difficult, and it's really disturbed almost everything what is we have in our life, including the Hajj itself. Now, of course, there are plenty of deaths, and there are a lot of scarcity. There are a lot of people who are really scared about how exactly to cope up with that. And suddenly, for this thing, as being from software side or stream from the computer side, the technology, this IT technology, can be a great help at this time, and we can really have lots of solutions for this kind of things. And of course, the people are adopting for that. As you know that everything is being digitized, and everything is being on online, and the best example is right now what we are interacting because of virtual communications and so on. Now, this technology can really come to the help for such kind of situations, especially when you have the masses who are moving, and when there is a really the concern of the health of masses over there, and people who are in lakhs and millions and so on. We have something called, I think what I would suggest is it's called as the Internet of Things. Now, this technology is basically is a technology which really connects to almost every aspects, everything, or especially I would say that it connects to almost all the digital things, anything which is based on digits or microprocessor. And the one of the thing is that it is all interconnected, and there is no boundary for the premises, or there is no limit for a specific area. It can go across the globe. I mean, anybody can get connected from anywhere to anywhere. And this is because it's purely based on the sensors. It has a lot of sensors. And now in electronics especially, and in computer science, we have come up with n number of sensors which can almost sense almost every activity. We can sense it, like people who are moving, people who are having the health concern. You can even sense right from their the way they walk, right from the way their gestures are there. And this way, in such kind of situation, it's quite easy for us to trace down the people, and to impose upon all those rules and all those guidelines which are required for this kind of pandemic. And these sensors can then send the data back to the central control, where the people can monitor how things are going on, whether people are following the distance, whether their health is perfect, or anybody is facing any health concern with that, without he himself is reporting you back. The sensor itself will give you the data, and then you can immediately pick it up, and then from there you can directly send the help to the concerned person. So that kind of technology is already there, and it's called as the Internet of Thing. And
Sir, sound is very slow.
yeah,
I can't hear proper. Please
yeah.
do that.
Okay, I'll just try to increase the sound. Can you hear me now? This is better. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Is this better?
Yeah,
Like,
it's okay, sir. It's okay, sir. And Abu Talbi, please mute all others.
yeah.
Now little improved. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Now, so this these all the sensors, And sensors-based technology we can have where we can really watch the movement of the people, which is very much required, especially in events like Hajj or Umrah, where you have n number of people and they have to they're supposed to follow a specific guideline. And it's very difficult for trace down or manually or having a person watching almost everybody among the masses. So the technology really can help you out. And what I would suggest is, which we normally use in our industry, that we can have a bracelet kind of things, which can be based on the sensor and which can have been connected with the IoT infrastructure over the cloud. Cloud means it's a virtual infrastructure where anybody can get connected from the globe, and you can really connect anybody to anybody and send the information across. So that bracelet can have its ID, his complete detail of his visa and his nationality and his health information can be there on the bracelet itself. And the bracelet itself can very easily, we have very cheaper sensors over there. It's not very costly. Very cost effective sensors we have, which can really monitor whether he is maintaining the distance. It can monitor the temperature of that person, whether he's having some health concern or whether he is suffering from some fever or whatever kind of things. And as well as we can see that how exactly or where exactly he's moving, in which location he's moving. So we can directly monitor and guide him. Okay, this is where you're supposed not to go. And this is how it can be controlled in such kind of situation. So technology can be great help, and I could say, and that's what the industry had predicted, that we call it as the industry 4.0. So this 4.0 era of the digitization and the online and internet and so on will definitely is an effort to connect almost everybody on the globe. And with the advent of suddenly the 5G, which is coming up, with the help of that, it will be quite easier to control directly from the remote itself. I mean, you don't have to have a physical person going over there and monitoring them or controlling them or asking them or guiding them out. It's quite easier. That technology itself will guide them, and that kind of technology is already there here. And as well as certainly in many industries is being used already, like for example automatic sanitization is there. We have a continuous sprays and so on wherever it's needed. It can be automized, and they can really spray it up wherever it is needed. And it can also sense the presence of any kind of person who is suffering from some kind of activities, right from his gesture. You can trace down from his eyes itself. You can remotely even sense his temperature and so on. So definitely it can be a wonderful help with the technology itself. And especially like the constraint what you have of COVID-19 or any disease like this. And the constraint is like we require to have a distance. That's the main thing. And then again we have to avoid the contact with each other. And then again the question is, then how we'd be able to guide, or we'll be able to monitor, or we'd be able to communicate. Then suddenly this technology can help you a lot in that. And nowadays we have another things which we would like to serve, like in such a gatherings especially, what happens is you provide certain services to the people. And those services again we need that some person should serve it. But the moment the person comes into the picture, then again there's a question that again he has to maintain the distance. You should not have to touch him, and then again sanitization again and again and so on. All those things are there. But then this can be very well managed by another technology. I would just, if you heard of it, it's called as a cobot. Cobot is basically is a collaborative robot. That's a very small device, and it can be fixed almost anywhere. Anywhere you can just screw it up and then fix it up anywhere you feel like. And it's like a robotic arm, you can say, and it can do a lot of manual tasks, the physical tasks you require. Like if you're serving somebody a water, if you're serving something to someone, so you have to go to physically. So instead of going physically, this kind of cobots can help you out for that. So these are 2 3 technologies we have. I think that can be a great help to in this kind of pandemic situations. One is IoT, it's called as the Internet of Things. Another is the communication, faster communication, because the backbone of IoT is going to be 5G, the 5G network. And 5G is especially meant for IoT and Industry 4.0, what they call it as. And then suddenly you can take the help of cobots, that is collaborative robots, which can be, it's almost like a human arm, which can be fixed almost anywhere. And it can serve you, and it can be remotely controlled. It can be simply controlled by your mobile. So you have a small application on your mobile, and through mobile itself, that robotic arm can serve you, the concerned person, and so on. And suddenly, there are various diagnostic elements are there in such kind of a situation where you have masses. For example, if you really want to know that all the people, maybe thousands or lakhs or millions, you like to know that what temperature they have right now at the particular kind of moment, or they have some variation in their body temperature and so on. Now it's manually, it's very difficult to do it. But then suddenly, if you have a small bracelet which has all these sensors and which is easily available now, the sensor, that bracelet itself can directly give you the information wherever you are. It gets connected with the cloud, and the cloud can directly connect you to your mobile or to your PC, and then it can give you the data about his temperature. And that can be in the fraction of seconds. I mean, millions of people can be scanned of their temperature in just fraction of seconds. And the same way, you can have various other kind of diagnostic data from these masses and so on. So this is wonderful things, and we can really go for all these things. That's what I'd like to know. And then cobot, yes, certainly that is one of the things which has really come up as a great help. I mean, wherever a human has to go personally, I mean, personally you want to go and serve, in that situation, that can be avoided by using cobot, collaborative robot. And that is, it's all 360 degree in almost all the angle, it moves out. So it does almost any kind of task, you feel. And it's easily fixed out anywhere. Anybody can fix it up. It's so simple. So I think this is we can greatly use all this technology, as we're already taking the benefit of this technology by having this webinar. And we are already aware of this, that instead of being physically in a different places, still we can communicate and we can have a conference over here. Similar kind of things can be done and can be monitored. We can monitor all these masses who are coming for any particular kind of gathering, and we can collect their data, and we can, it's not only data, we can also instruct them. I mean, from there itself, we can instruct them, and they can take their own way. So I think this is what I think it will be a great help for this. I think. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Jazakumullah khair.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Doctor, it was wonderful. And actually, Professor, I should be addressing you as Professor Abdul Samad Sheikh. And as a professor, this lecture was, like losing up us all to a good memory back in college, when we used to hear somebody as an external lecturer and then become so happy that we get to know something so modern, something very new. Maybe for many people, this might be something which is very, very new or not heard of. But now this is the new normal. Like 5G is going to come, and then it is going to be the new normal where everybody could understand. From there, we would go to something spiritually. Also, like our next speaker who comes in, that is Hujjatul Islam from UK. His name is Nisam Kasmi. He's the director of the Tawheed Islamic Center UK Newcastle. He would be enlightening us about the spirituality. Like, also, we were so happy to listen to these new technologies, and somebody from us is heading that. We'd definitely love to come and meet you someday and understand more things. And maybe the people who go for Hajj in the near future should make use of the technologies that you have been sharing. And it's so very kind of you. Thank you so much. And now I invite our new speaker, who is Hujjatul Islam, Nisam Kasmi Saab, director of the Tawheed Islamic Center, Newcastle, UK. And he is going to enlighten us with the spirituality. Spirituality is something where we will reach something without technology, with our mind. Like, we close our eyes and there we are in heaven. So, where is Maulana Saab? Just check. Abu Talibi, just put him on.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Yeah.
الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب الله العالمين القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين لا سيما بقية الله في العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. I am very happy to be among you. I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and his servants in House of Culture or Cultural House of Iran in Mumbai for being among you. In today's short lecture, I would like to address the issue of Hajj in the term of pandemic and the duties of the rulers of Arab Peninsula regarding Hajj. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Quran says, فيها آيات بينات مقام إبراهيم ومن دخله كان آمنا ولله على الناس حج البيت من استطاع إليه سبيلا, and whoever enters it shall be safe, and to Allah from the people is a pilgrimage to the house for whoever is able to find there to a way. Indeed, there is Islam is not just fasting or prayer. Islam is a combination of different duties that mankind has after accepting this beautiful religion of peace. Hajj is one of them. Hajj is one of the actually parts in this puzzle of peace and in this peaceful atmosphere that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made for the mankind. Hajj must be a testimony of this peace. Indeed, there should be, as I recited this verse of Quran, whoever man istata'a ilayhi sabila, whoever becomes able to do Hajj, doing this Hajj will become compulsory on him or her. Whether he is Indian, Bangladeshi, Pakistani, Iranian, British, American, German, whoever he is, if he can do this Hajj, he must come. Why is that? One reason definitely is the fact that people from different ethnicities come together, from different nationalities, people come together and they fulfill this peaceful atmosphere by having different people from different nationalities. Let me here recite another verse of Quran for you. In another beautiful verse in Surah Hajj, verse 25, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إن الذين كفروا ويصدون عن سبيل الله والمسجد الحرام الذي جعلناه للناس سواء العاكف فيه والباد. Indeed, those who have disbelieved in Allah and averted and stopped people from the way of Allah and the Masjid al-Haram, which we made for the people equal. سواء العاكف فيه والباد. We have made people who are residents there and people who are outside equal in benefiting from that atmosphere. سواء العاكف فيه والباد. So this is the preface of my talk with you. That's number one, all people who are able to do Hajj, they must perform it. Number two, the ruler of Hijaz, Arab Peninsula, has some duties. Let me refer to one hadith from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. Hadith is a bit long. I try to summarize this hadith. In this hadith, Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says, لو أن الناس تركوا الحج لكان على الوالي أن يجبرهم على ذلك. If people leave doing Hajj, it will be obligatory, it will be wajib on the ruler to force them, to make them do Hajj. وعلى المقام عنده ولو تركوا زيارة النبي. This is similar to the ziyarat of the Prophet as well. They have the same duty to make the Masjid al-Nabi also full of people. Then I just want to address the last part of this hadith, which is similarly mentioned in prophetic ahadith, mentioned in Sahih Sittah, in Sunni sources as well. فإن لم يكن لهم مال أنفق عليهم من بيت المال المسلمين. فإن لم يكن لهم مال, if people don't have enough property, enough wealth to do Hajj, أنفق عليهم من بيت المال المسلمين, he must spend from the treasury of the Muslims. Have you ever thought with yourself why Saudi Arabia is #1 in exporting oil? Definitely, I believe one reason is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to enable the ruler of Arab Peninsula to at least have the capability of fulfilling such duties. From one side, man istata ilayhi sabila. From the side of people, pilgrims who want to do Hajj, if they become able, if they have enough money, if they have, if they are healthy enough, and if the way is open, they must do Hajj. From another side, from the side of the ruler has also some duties. The duty of ruler is to just simplify also and give them the tools and means to do Hajj. This year, my dear brothers, we have about 2,000 pilgrims in the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I believe it shouldn't have been more than this number or a very similar number, because the rulers of Arab Peninsula, they have shown that they don't have the capability of managing more than this number. As you know, all of you, the incident 5 years ago happened in 2015. More than 2,000 Hujjaj were they passed away in Mina only because of mismanagement. So I think they have done a good job not to allow more than this number, and the social distancing and these things is good. But what I want to say here is that the insiders and outsiders, they should be equal in going there. From the UK, I have seen, I dropped one of them myself to Manchester airport to go back to Saudi. People are traveling to Saudi Arabia from other countries. Actually, they were Saudis who were traveling, but it doesn't make any difference when something is obligatory on all Muslims. If traveling from outside is possible to inside Saudi Arabia, it should be possible for all. Okay, there should be restriction in number, but سواء العاكف فيه والباد, there should be equal share from people of different countries. At the end, I want to benefit from what Dr. Maqsood Khan and also Professor Abdul Samad Sahih, they mentioned, especially today, by the usage of technology, by the new advanced modern technology, it is even more simple to do these things easily. There could be from treasury of Muslims, or even from the pocket of the travelers, pilgrims themselves. They could manage a 2-week quarantine at the beginning for Hajjaj, and then after that they could do and perform a'mal. There are so many Muslims around the world that they haven't done Hajj yet, and this part of their decision was not correct. To conclude and to cut a very long story short, this idea has roots in Wahhabism, in takfir. I give this duty to yourselves to go and do more research. My time is over. But to cut a very long story short, you see, Wahhabism was created by takfir, by considering themselves only the true only Muslims, and the rest of Muslims are kafir. Just look at the history. At the beginning of Wahhabism, those who were converting to Wahhabi Islam, they had to testify that all other Muslims in the past 12 centuries, they have been all kafir, and they are immune from them. Actually, I wanted to refer to some of the deeper historical points to address this fact that they don't consider others to be good Muslims or even a Muslim, and that is why they have made it only for themselves. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this time of pandemic give shifa to all Muslims who are suffering from any type of disease, especially COVID-19. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept the Hajj of all Hujjaj this year. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all tawfiq to do Hajj next year, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Assalamu alaikum. Aga. It was a very, very enlightening speech. Thank you so much. And we'd like to hear more from you. Maybe the Culture House gives us a chance to know more about things and your views. But one thing is for sure, that they have tried their best. The more technologies, with the type of environment, with the type of situation, the entire world is closed. So in Bombay also, we are finding in the Mumbai city, everything is in lockdown. And people who are not able to understand various things, they have to be told so many simple things like washing their hands or washing their face. And sending such people into this pandemic would be sending somebody into the grave. You know, they would be a catastrophic disaster if certain people would have been allowed to go. And if the disease spreads, who would be responsible for the death of so many people all around the world? So personally,
yeah, thank you. Just let me clarify one point here, brother. Just let me clarify one point here. Two groups of people from Saudi this year were allowed to do Hajj. One healthcare team, number two, the army. So if the healthcare, my point was that if the healthcare team from Saudi could go, the healthcare team from other Islamic countries and from other countries also should have had the same share, a very similar share with the insiders from outside to go to have quarantine. As Saudis from outside, they go, they travel to Saudi, and they have 14 days quarantine. There must have been some facilities like this for all.
What happens is, the people, unless and until we get to a level where we have the akilun of the level of who can discuss, when Hajj is not only few mullahs getting together and breaking their head, it is a ritual where intellectuals also meet. It is a place where we get scientific researches done. When it is a conference of scientists also, then maybe the scientists of various areas could have got together and developed even a vaccine for the pandemic itself. But it is not so. What happens is that in the modern world, we see that there can be so many reasons of discussing various things. He should be allowed, he should not be allowed. But the reality is that, are we having a vaccine for it? Are we in a position to develop a medicine where we can stand up to the world and say, yes, come to us. We have the best medical college. You will have to learn from us. Come to us. We have the best medical. I, as a student of archaeology, will tell you, wherever we go, in the topmost researchers, topmost people we find Nasiruddin Tusi has done that. Fakhruddin Razi has done that. Abu Bakr Razi has discovered alcohol. Everything we find these people has done from Tus, from Isfahan, from Ray. They have done so much, so many discoveries from. But now what happens is we find that instead of researching, we are into spirituality. Maybe it is also good. After death, we'll realize it was better than what we were doing earlier. But the reality is that for the worldly pleasures, like we say, Rabbana atina hasanatan fid dunya wa hasanatan akhirah. For the akhirah, maybe this is good. But for the intellectualism in the world now, it is very, very necessary for us to know about the modern world, how we are going to develop, how we are going to change our today's life, how we're going to become good architects, how we're going to do buildings. It is not that Mimar Sina was not knowing architecture. He's the best architect in the world. We are taught in the architecture college when we are studying architecture. We were learning about Mimar Sina, but I don't know how many people are studying Mimar Sina. So it is something very, very different. We need an entire conference on technology of various types. We should go on. We would request Professor Dr. Ashuri to hold more conferences where he can call intellectuals. Sir, as was talking about the college researches, about the computer researches, like we had Dr. Samad who was discussing about the various types of developing come forward to the best of the need of the man. A small video, then we'll session. Thank you so much. Aga sir, we will discuss things with you. Thank you so much, Aga. Wassalam.
You're welcome. Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Abu Talibi, are you putting the video or we should go for the vote of thanks? Assalamu alaikum. Now we come finally, Abu Talwi. Mohammed?
Yes.
Abu Talib. Assalamu alaikum. Now, finally, we come to the end of this beautiful evening and beautiful chair. Now, I would like to thank everybody. First of all, let me thank Dr. Masood Khan, then Dr. or Professor Abdul Samad Sheikh. Thank you so much, Hujjatul Islam, Misam Kasmi Saab. And now, with the ending of this session, let me go for a dua. Rabbana Atayna hasanata fid dunya wa hasanata akhirah. May Allah remove the curse of this pandemic that is there on the entire human race. May He bless us. And on the today, where everybody is praying the Maidan of Arfa, let us remember Abu Abdullah Hussein, and Imam Hussein alayhi salam converted his Hajj into Umrah and went to Karbala. Similarly, the situation today where we know that the pandemic is so great that it is not exactly great, is not the word, it is so worse that it is difficult for the human beings to survive and get through it. May we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remove this curse and help us in becoming better human beings. And inshallah, soon we will have a better Hajj and a good, still better with better technologies, and hope that Dr. Khan will send us all again with a beautiful new environment to a wonderful, wonderful Hajj with all the more spiritual, worldly, and technologically blessed environment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sheikh Sahab, your video is not coming, but still maybe you're hearing us. Thank you so much. And Hasmi Sahab also. Thank you so much to all the speakers. And now, above all, let me thank our organizers, the Culture House of the Islamic Republic of Iran, its director, Dr. Mohsin Ashuri. Thank you so much, sir. Hoping that this was a nice evening and everybody enjoyed the same. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah, jazakallah.
Okay. Now, I think we are ending the meeting now. Or any questions from anybody?
If somebody would like to say something, okay, let them to tell.
Yeah, please.
So, can I talk? I'm
Sure.
Dr. Mehrul Hasan from Bhopal.
Yeah.
Can I ask something?
Yes, sir. But sir, be very, very small, because everybody.
Yes, very small.
Yeah, yeah.
On what basis Saudi Arabia selected the people who are now doing Hajj? What was the criteria actually?
Sir, the criteria was, first of all, they should be residents over there. And secondly, they have checked them through their own these things, that their health is okay or not. And some Qura they have done, because the limitations were there, and everybody is influential. So you don't know what to do and what not to do in such a situation.
Few people from Iran sent there, has been sent there or not?
No.
No, sir, no. No,
No.
Not allowed.
No Iranian was there.
No.
So how it is? They should select few from all Muslim countries.
Sir, what
Yes.
happens is, in the case of pandemic and this situation, there is a situation where they have to be very, very choosy, and they have to see that whom to give and what not to give. Basically, it is not when you have access; it is when the scarcity is there, you come to know the true intentions.
Anyway, what to say? But I don't understand their policy. What they did, I don't understand.
Their policy is one thing very simple, that they will take whomsoever they can control. They are also into a situation where they not only controlling the pandemic, but also controlling the masses at times, and the thoughts becomes a problem, because they don't want any thing to become argumentative or like you say tricky differences to come into the picture at this moment, because it was a situation like that. So let's pray for the best and see. Ultimately, if you're talking of spiritual blessings are in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will give the blessings to whomsoever he wants. He will give whatever.
Zainul Raza Sahab, my point is only one, and that is that Saudi, that I don't say it Saudi, I say that Hijaz is not the place for only Saudis. It is the place for all Muslims from all walk of life and from all countries.
We do understand, and after 2023, let's see what happens. What is the situation with Turkey coming into the picture? Let's see.
Inshallah.
What Erdogan has to say.
Inshallah. Ameen. Salam alaikum.
Any other questions?
Hi, no questions, but just some odd. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
I'm fine, sir.
Just I would like to say that this webinar conference you have conducted very nicely, and mashallah, all the speakers are very nicely given very good information about this particular situation. In this particular situation about the Hajj, initially Mohsin Ashuri Sahab has given a very nice introductory speech. Alhamdulillah, I congratulate him. Then Masood Khan sir has also given a very nice religious significance and its academic activities in this present situation. Later on, Samad sir has given a lot of information about the technologies which we don't know about that one. And I think that Saudi government even don't know this much technology. They are supposed to aware about this particular technology.
The research Ratan. That is why Dr. Ashuri got him over here. I hope he's listening. Very deep.
Yeah, and Hujjatul Islam Hasmi Sahab has given a very good outline about this particular situation and about the religious significance. And brother Zainul Raza, you have conducted this seminar very nicely. Yes. I would like to put one Urdu couplet for you कि बात करने का सलीका हो अगर इंसान को याद दिल तो क्या चीज है पत्थर भी पिघल जाता है and you have just conquer our heart. I congratulate you. And the
Thank you.
Culture House has given a very nice
Thank you,
opportunity
thank
to.
No, Culture House. Culture House will give me more chances, I hope. The boss is listening. He has
Talent,
put his name, he has put his name as
talent
the
people
boss.
like you, they always provide the chances to. I know Mohsin Ashuri Sahab and other
Shuk-
people. So,
Shukriya,
mashallah,
shukriya.
And more than anything else, you know that his frankness, his
thank you,
nature is
Jazakallah.
such that he always gives chance to everybody. And more than anything else, he wants to conduct such things, you know, whether it is on development, whether it is on Hajj or anything. He wants to have a seminar. He wants to have a dialogue. Being an academician, it
Correct.
helps. You know, being an academician, it helps to get into these type of things. Thank you so much, sir.
Yes,
Thank
And
you,
very
thank
much.
you.
no, I
Thank
don't
you.
think
It's my
people
pleasure.
will be bearing us more than this anymore. और thank you so much. और जैसे कि एंड में हम लोग हमेशा कहते हैं कि रहे गुलशन तो गुल खिलेंगे, रही जिंदगी तो फिर मिलेंगी इंशाल्लाह.
Inshallah.
And may the
Inshallah.
curse, may the curse of this pandemic go away. और आज अरफे का दिन वहाँ चल रहा है. दुआओं में सबको याद रखें, दुआ करें. और इस दुआओं के साथ किसी और को anybody has a question please?
Jazakallah.
Thank you so much. Thank you to all the participants and the Culture House coming. And one more person to thank, Abu Talibi and Zakir Bhai for their backup, for the
Yes,
from
yes.
back office management. Thank you so much to the entire team.
Thank
and
you.
especially to Zakir Bhai and Abu Talibi. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. That was very nice.
So now we end, and one by one, please leave the meeting or dismantle the affair. Abu Talibi, do the needful, please.
Mashallah. Very nice.
Thank you.
Jazakallah.